17 innings, 7-5. I stayed up for 14 of it, and then I went to bed.
Well, I was going to say, it wasn't last night. Didn't it kind of stretch into the morning?
Yeah, really. I guess so. It was a 2-day event. But that game going on, I guess, right now. Game 2 probably getting underway. I guess was it 6 o'clock or maybe just now at 7 o'clock. I'm not sure.
Shows how much of a softball aficionado you are.
Yes, it does. Well, we don't have the TV on. I'm going to blame Michael on that one. But the NBA NCAA baseball tournament continues on. 6 SEC teams move past the regionals to the super regionals. Auburn not among them, as they had a golden opportunity to take down Florida State, had it to one strike. We're one strike away on 2 different occasions, but could not find a way to get that final out. Florida State wins on Sunday night, forces an elimination game, and then takes care of Auburn on Monday night. The Warriors run away with another 19-point victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Is this deja vu? Last year, I think the Warriors won by about 15 in Game 1, won by 30 in Game 2, heading to Cleveland. Here we are again, 2 blowouts in Golden State, in Oakland, heading to Cleveland. This is where the series turned last year. This game will be Wednesday night. Can the Cavaliers do it again?
I don't know. This one feels a little different. The Cavs were never really in it. I mean, they just Warriors seemed to get a 10, 12-point lead, and it just sort
I don't know. They may have been more in it this last game than the
Game 2 of last year.
Yeah,
but it seems like there is a gulf between them. It seemed like Game 2 of last year was a bad night. And I think all NBA teams have those where you just can't hit anything and you're going to get blown out by somebody because everybody in the NBA is good. I mean, we can talk about this team's bad, this team's bad. They can all shoot if you leave them open. They can all rebound if you don't box out, all those things. And sometimes you just have an off night mentally, and I think that's what the Cavs did last year. Look, I don't know what Cleveland's going to be able to do differently. Whatever strategy they came into these first 2 games with,
it ain't working.
It ain't working. And so you better do something different. LeBron, he's still doing his thing. He's got more triple-doubles than anybody in NBA history, and it's not close. I think he passed Magic Johnson, they were tied maybe with 7 or 8 each, and the next closest person has 2. That's pretty phenomenal. And he's going to have to do something pretty phenomenal to get by the Warriors in this next game. And that's the thing is you can look at this down 2-0, but I think the scarier way for the Cavaliers to look at this is they have to win 4 of the next 5. And I don't see any way they're going to do that. Of course, we said that last year.
Well, here's the 2 biggest differences between last year and this year. Number 1, Kevin Durant.
True.
Number 2, they have the knowledge that they blew a 3-1 lead. It ain't going to happen again. It ain't going to happen again. We'll talk about that a little bit more as the show goes on. Pittsburgh and Nashville tied at 2. Break down the Stanley Cup.
I can't break it down, but I can say this. For the first time in my natural-born life, I watched some hockey because I turned it that way. I put the channel on hockey.
This was on purpose.
On purpose.
Wow.
It wasn't a scanning through. It wasn't my remote broke, or I changed the channel and got a phone call and got distracted. It wasn't any of that. I put it on Channel 13 last night. Number 1, I could actually find the Stanley Cup. It has been on NBC Sports, which I'm not really sure where that is on DirecTV. But I was able to find it last night on Channel 13. And it's really everything you kind of want in sports. I don't understand the sport at all. I don't enjoy watching hockey very much because I can't follow the puck. And I don't really know what a lot of the terms mean because I didn't play it growing up, obviously, here in Alexander City, Alabama. But I enjoyed the crowd. I enjoyed the atmosphere. You could tell a lot of people in Nashville didn't know what was up either, but they're just going bananas every time something happened, anything happened. And it was cool to see that community get so riled up about this sport, and even if it is just hockey. But, Nashville, I guess they hadn't had a lot to cheer about lately. The Titans hadn't been very good. Vandy, obviously, in football has not been much, and in basketball, they were maybe a little disappointing this year. In baseball, they make it to the Super Regionals, but they're probably about to be ousted by Oregon State. So, hey, kudos to Nashville. It's a booming city, and they've got a lot to cheer about with the Predators, and I think this is great for the NHL because now, imagine if Ottawa was playing, Montreal. I mean, nobody outside of those communities would be watching this. I think the ratings on this are probably pretty good, especially relative to other hockey ratings, I would assume.
I would guess so. I mean, Stanley Cup hockey is worth watching. I don't care if I'm like you. I still don't know what icing is, but I know there's a red line, and I know you can't cross it in certain situations. That's all I know. But and I read today the Birmingham Bulls coming back to Birmingham, your neck of the woods.
They are coming back?
They have announced they will be coming back to Birmingham. So I went to a couple of Bulls games back in the mid-90s, and one of the funnest live sporting events I've ever been to.
Let me ask this.
And it's minor league hockey.
Would you rather have the Birmingham Bulls come back or have the Birmingham Steel Dogs come back?
The Bulls, without even question.
Really? I'd rather have the Steel Dogs.
Really?
Oh, I thought you were talking about fun. The Steel Dogs, I knew people who played on the Steel Dogs. I played basketball with guys who would, they'd be on the Steel Dogs and they had regular jobs. I mean,
this is arena football?
Not like regular CEO jobs, like regular, working at a checkout line or whatever jobs. I mean, so they worked their tails off wherever they were. They'd work at a fast food place, whatever, wait tables. And then they'd go play for the Steel Dogs. They get $200 for that, for the week.
Oh, my.
And then they come and they do other recreational stuff like play basketball with me, but they were super athletes, and they just loved the sport. And I thought they knew there were no aspirations of, if I show out against this Huntsville team, no telling how far I can go. It wasn't anything like that. It was just, I love to play football. I want to keep playing football. And the Steel Dogs games were great.
Like, is it arena football this one?
It was Arena 2.
Arena 2.
It was either Arena 2 or whatever's below Arena 2, and don't say Arena 3 because it wasn't Arena 3. It was like Arena 2B or something. But it was
minor league arena football?
Is
there such a thing?
It was the only thing after college that's not pro, that wasn't World League, that would, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
they had a team, seemed like I remember something, they had a team in Opelika.
No, not.
That's
right.
like, was that, what was
no,
that?
I think you're thinking of the Opelika Bulldogs. They play BRHS every year.
Barry, that was funny. No, but there was a semi-pro team. I remember we talked about it on the radio one time, and they were promoting us. Yeah.
Well,
but they had. I can't forget.
Whatever. I'm telling you, if you had ever been to a Steel Dogs game, you would have loved it. Now, the Bulls games, they're pretty fun, too.
Yeah.
And actually, Alabama plays.
You ever been to a Birmingham Bulls game?
Yeah, I went back in the day. Yeah. I mean, they've been gone for some time.
They have, yeah, quite a bit.
But Alabama actually has a hockey team, and they play in Pelham a lot. Now, there's an SEC. It's part of the SEC. I think they have to play a lot of club teams and things like that. And ironically enough, about 4 years ago, I was on a flight to God knows where, and I happened to be sitting next to a guy who was checking a bunch of Alabama stuff, and I just struck up a conversation with him, and he's the head coach for the Alabama hockey team at the time, and he said, we've basically just started. And he said, we're just bringing in guys and doing what we can do. And I wouldn't say it's ballooned into some massively popular sport on campus, but it has gotten a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Hockey on TV and hockey live, two different experiences, really. It really is, because the night I went, the Bulls won, there was a fight, and a puck flew out in the audience. I was happy.
See, I'm going to go back to the whole hockey fight thing. I think we're beyond that, just like I think we're beyond baseball
not in
pitchers.
Minor league.
Okay, maybe not in minor league, but just like pitchers having to hit batters because they have a grudge against them for some stupid reason 2 years later, like we saw last week. So I'm pro. Let's keep the sport what it is. Yeah. If I want to see fighting, I'll go see Deontay Wilder box in Birmingham.
They had a guy named Lutz.
Yeah, they had a bunch.
Can you imagine what can you from that? What would you come up with? What the crowd was saying?
Oh, please,
Lutz.
Go ahead.
Use the force, Lutz.
Oh, come on.
Over and over and over again.
I'm also going to say this. I went to some Bulls games, and I don't remember a lot of packed houses. So
No.
I don't think it was a big crowd doing this.
I think they said they were going to redo the Pelham Center, though. And
that makes sense because that's where Alabama plays right now.
Supposed to hold like 4,000 people.
Yeah.
I might go
I'm
to
for
the
it.
game.
I mean,
hey, let's get up a team and go.
Let's go. In Alex City?
Absolutely.
I guess. I mean, why not?
We're going to do a memory lane.
I have a feeling we will ice the puck a lot, whatever that is.
We're going to go down memory lane again tonight, all the way back to 1989, the third Saturday in October, as Tennessee traveled to Legion Field to take on the Alabama Crimson Tide.
It was the Saran Stacy Explodes game. Anybody who follows this rivalry at all will know what I'm talking about, or at least as long as you're old enough to remember 1989. I was there in Legion Field, and it really was a fantastic game, just picturesque. The day was beautiful. Legion Field hadn't quite become so dilapidated just yet, and Alabama had a pretty good streak going against Tennessee. And there's so many weird, odd, fun facts about this game. We'll talk about them a little bit later on.
77 points scored in that game.
I mean, it wasn't exactly your typical Alabama defensive
People thought
struggle. You know what's funny?
Thought Alabama had a good defense.
The very next year, Alabama. If you hear about some of the guys that were on the defense, they did have a good defense. But the very next year, Alabama and Tennessee play to a 9-6 game when Philip Doyle kicks a field goal after Alabama had blocked the field goal of Tennessee trying to win it. Tennessee had come into that game number 3 in the country, and everybody just assumed they were going to run all over. That's the game Lee Corso said Alabama can't beat a high school team right now because Alabama came into that game 2-3, and they ended up upsetting Tennessee in Knoxville.
You don't see a lot of kickers with high-top black cleats.
No.
But Philip Doyle, he rocked them.
He did rock him. And actually on his kick, he got roughed and hit in the mouth, and he was bleeding. And they threw the flag, but he still made the field goal from 47 yards out. It would have been good from 60.
Really? Philip Doyle kicked the game-winning field goal against Ben Russell in Hamp Line, I believe.
Did he? Oh, yeah, I do remember that because he played for a Huffman, right?
Yeah, it was like a 50-something yarder, and we hated him.
Yeah.
Up against a break, but we'll be back with more Sportz Blitz Live presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill right after this.
Is our number one concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's Trane dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our number one concern. Call 234-5052 and we're there for you.
Auburn Opelika has that perfect something for you. From sophisticated chic boutiques to exceptional dining, there's a retailer or restaurant to make your next visit special. Whether it's elegant fine dining or freshly squeezed lemonade, you'll find the perfect fit for every taste and budget. The food's great and the shopping is too, so be sure to check out the wide array of gifts, decor, clothing, and more. For every occasion, Auburn Opelika has what you're looking for. Let's make your next trip memorable. Visit Auburn Opelika.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime at the all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Every new and pre-owned vehicle, just $1 down. Plus credit amnesty. Bring home $350 a week, get up to $30,000 in credit.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime.
10 acres, 1,000 vehicles, just $1 down.
Folks, you've just got to see this place.
The all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Call 800-NEXT-RIDE.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Ready to put some fun in your life? Whether it's Central or East Alabama, North Alabama, West Georgia, or wherever you're from, Fun Carts of Opelika is your authorized easy-go kart dealer that has no limits on a perfect easy-go kart. Whether it's a fully customized kart or a stock-made kart, we'll deliver it on time and at the best price. Fun Carts gives you the service after the sale, so no matter if it's hunting, tailgating, motorhoming, fleet rental, or just a better way to get around, Fun Carts of Opelika has it and will customize it to your needs. Visit us in Opelika or call us or visit online for the best easy-go karts. Put a little fun in your life with Fun Carts of Opelika.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Bice Motors in Alexander City. Brian and his crew offer the latest lines of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, as well as the best used inventory around. Guaranteed lowest price. Bice.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live on this rainy Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to kick things off tonight and go ahead and dive deep into it with a little over-under.
I dig it.
All right. Can you handle it?
Yes, I can. Handle it.
Over or under 10 innings in tonight's Women's College World Series game number 2?
I mean, you got to go under, right? Softball only has 7 innings. There's no way they're going extras and
Extras.
more than 3 extras, right? I don't know what the score is right now.
These teams are so evenly matched, and they want to win so badly. I don't know. I think it's going to be close either way. And in college sports, it can be predictable in that a game like this, whoever won that game last night, the other team had to just be crestfallen.
Yeah.
And so you just wonder if they have any juice left.
Well, I mean, the other way to look at that is the other team might be a little too full of themselves. And Florida has, there's so many things like that in sports, and really you don't know what you're going to get until you get out there. People can say, well, they're backed into a corner, so they got to come out swinging, and Oklahoma may be a little bit passive. It may be the other way around. Oklahoma may be incredibly aggressive and still on a super high, and Florida may be down. These things you don't know, especially it's one thing to talk about those things in football where you have a week to digest it, and that's why I think all that's overstated. Like if you have a team that loses a last-second field goal, well, they're still thinking about that. Well, they've had 7 days to get over it. But in this game, they've had, 7 hours to get over it.
Yeah.
So it may be a little bit different.
Well, so you're going under.
I'm going under without a doubt.
It ends in 7.
That's my lock.
Who
That's
wins?
Luke's lock of the
Who
week.
wins tonight?
I'm going to say Florida because, like you said, these two teams are very evenly matched, and I don't think Oklahoma can throw their ace out there again. She pitched a long time last night. Now, in softball, you can pitch and then get substituted and then come back, right? So I didn't watch the whole game, so I don't know if she pitched all 17 innings.
No, she did not. She pitched 7 or 6 1/3, and then Paige Parker came in and pitched until I think she came back in the 12th.
Yeah.
Yes, she did in the 12th because she gave up. But that girl, that Paige Lowry, is it Lowry?
Lowry, yeah.
She came in and threw 75 miles an hour.
That's ridiculous.
75 miles an hour.
And you're only
That's
from
like
here to our
105.
camera.
I mean, unbelievable. I mean, you couldn't even see it. And the girl drilled a double off of her. That's what's even more impressive. But I found myself in the unenviable position of pulling for Florida.
Yeah,
because I can't, I don't like Oklahoma.
Well, I mean, it's not.
It's personal with me.
Do you think it is about the Auburn thing?
Well, I mean, I don't like them because they knocked
SEC?
out Auburn twice.
Well, I'm sort of pulling for Florida just because pro SEC, and also I don't have to put up with a lot of Florida fans. Dr. Paul Goldhagen here in Alexander City is a big Florida fan.
Got to put up with him.
Yeah, and he is a big Gator fan, so I mean, I'll pull for him for them. But since you don't have to see a lot of their fans, I think that's who you can pull for in the SEC is probably directly proportionate to how many of those fans you have to be around.
That's true.
Like, there's no way I'm pulling for Auburn. There's no way you're pulling for Alabama. But, Florida, I can live with them.
I like it, Delana Gurley, too.
Yeah. Not bad.
2.5 SEC teams in the College World Series. There are 6. Now, one of them's going to get eliminated. So you're guaranteed one.
Yeah.
Florida and
Which also guaranteed to lose one.
LSU and Mississippi State are playing, but so 2.5 teams in the College World Series.
You know, I'm looking at the matchups now. Mississippi State and LSU, as you said, one of them will move on. Vanderbilt at Oregon State, I don't like Vanderbilt's chances there. Davidson at A&M. I mean, I feel like Texas A&M's pretty hot. People are going to, jump on the Davidson bandwagon, kind of like Coastal Carolina last year. But A&M's pretty hot too. They went to Houston and won a big series. Kentucky at Louisville. This Louisville team's very, very good. Kentucky is sneaky good. So I think A&M and LSU so far move on. And I think I like Florida over Wake Forest, even though Wake Forest is also strong. That's a regional a lot of people thought Auburn would end up in is Winston-Salem instead of Tallahassee.
So you like 4 teams?
No. I'm saying I'll take the over. I got to take some. I like
Kentucky
Florida. No, I didn't say I like Kentucky. I said Kentucky's sneaky good.
Sneaky good.
I'm still going to go with Louisville. I'm going to say over because I'm going to say 3 teams get in.
Okay.
And I think this also is a great representation for the conference.
Absolutely.
Because 6 teams out of 14 total get into the Super Regionals. That's a big deal.
Absolutely. 40 points for LeBron James in Game 3, over under.
You know, when I first read that question, my initial inclination was to say, no, that's just not going to get there. I think he might have to.
I think he might have to.
He's got to do something different. This get everybody else involved thing he has, and that is something that maybe separates him from Jordan. Jordan assisted when he needed to. LeBron he's got a soft spot for everybody else. It's like, come on, I want to get you involved, and that's noble, and that's great. But right now, they need beast mode from LeBron.
Absolutely. I'm with you. I mean, Warriors scored 132 the other night and made it look easy to do. So where are they going to find? I mean, they got to outscore them because they can't stop them. I don't believe. So he's going to probably have to have that for.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's got to go over.
Yeah, 1 victory for the Cleveland Cavaliers in the final.
Oh, I'm going to say over. I think they win. I think they win 2 in this somewhere, somehow. I don't think they get swept. A lot of people think they will. I think that they get 2 wins in this thing.
2 wins.
Somewhere, yeah.
Well, everybody seems to be like, just guaranteed, clearly Cleveland will win Game 3.
No, I don't.
I've heard people say that over and over today. I'm going to say the Warriors win. I'm going to say the Warriors win Game 3, and I'm going to say the Warriors win Game 4.
Oh, you're going to say sweep, okay.
If they win Game 3, that's guaranteed they win Game 4.
Here's the thing, too. I hate that we have to wait to win. What is going on with this schedule? You've got it started last Thursday, and then we got to wait till Sunday, and now we have to wait till Wednesday, and then they do play Friday, which is great, but then they don't play again till Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, the NBA is drawing this thing out so long. It's like Chinese water torture.
10.5 SEC schools go bowling in 2017. The Sporting News has 11. So.
Yeah, I think the Sporting News is probably right. I feel like Kentucky's going to be much improved. And then there are enough soup cans on everybody else's schedule where I think they can get enough wins to be bowl eligible.
It's a lot easier to be 6-6 than it used to be.
Yeah, and look, who's not going to go bowling? Obviously, Ole Miss won't go bowling, right? I mean, because they can't.
No.
And we can talk about them a little bit later on. They got some bad news, it looks like, today. Their response to the NCAA seemed worse than whatever the NCAA wrote them. They said, okay, look, we cheated, but we didn't know it was cheating, and our coach has full control of the program, but he didn't know this was going on. Like, you can't – how does all that work? But anyway, I think, Auburn, Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Florida now with Malik Zaire there, gosh, I mean, name somebody that won't go bowling.
Vandy.
Vandy's not going to be terrible. Now, the problem with Vandy is they rotate Alabama onto their schedule. So, they're not going to win that game. Now, they're going to win a lot of games. But if they had rotated, say, a Mississippi State onto their schedule, I would feel a little bit better about them.
Missouri?
Yeah, Missouri's still pretty bad.
So Missouri, I mean,
they got a good quarterback.
Take out Ole Miss, Missouri, and Vandy.
They've got a good quarterback, though.
Yeah.
They've got Drew Lock. He's talented.
Yeah. He threw for 4,000 last year, I believe.
So if you have a quarterback, you have a shot.
Sure.
But they rotate Auburn on their schedule.
This is true. But Auburn has to go there. 8 starts for Malik Zaire as Florida Gator in 2017.
I'm going to say over. I mean, I like the Franks kid, Felipe Franks for Florida. He showed out in their spring game, but I think that Malik Zaire is coming to Florida to win the gig, and he, even if he's not the best passer in the world, he's sort of like Jalen Hurts in that Florida has so many Frisbee-catching dogs. If you put it in their vicinity, they can go get it, as long as they're not maybe taking a toke or something like that, because some of them have gotten a little trouble.
That's true.
But I think if you throw it up for Antonio Callaway, if you get it in his neighborhood, he's going to get it.
Well, that'll do it for over-under. Your answers will be
recorded in history.
That's right, and will be graded later on. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Reinhardt Lexus brings exciting offers with rates as low as 0%, rebates for college grads and military, and low monthly payments. The time to save is now at Reinhardt Lexus, where you'll feel like family.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Relief has a new address in Alexander City. Main Street Family Urgent Care is now open across from Walmart on Highway 280. From cuts, broken bones, strep throat, and flu, they can help you heal and feel better fast. Open 8 to 8 Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 on Saturday, and 1 to 6 on Sunday.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Don't you know there's no queen like peaches and cream?
Wow, your carpets look fantastic.
Yeah, thanks to Peaches and Clean.
They look new again.
They also clean my kitchen tile.
Simply amazing. I'm calling Peaches and Clean today.
Just call 502-5326. Oh yeah, they have an area rug cleaning facility too.
Peaches and Clean is now expanded to the Alexander City Lake Martin Market. Give them a call at 334-502-5326.
Dollar suck fat peaches and clean.
TPE Power Equipment is now the trusted name for all your mower and power equipment needs. Whether it's our original Tallahassee location or Opelika location on Fredericks Road, we've got East Alabama covered with the best brands of mowers and power equipment from Husqvarna, Toro, Kawasaki, Echo, and Honda. Right now, get commercial strength Husqvarna zero-turn mowers with our fleet program that offers deep discounts, easy finance, and bonus handheld equipment in one solid package. TPE of Opelika and Tallahassee are the new standard of everything power equipment in East Alabama.
Heads up, we're going back to 77. Disco, bell-bottoms, and Ford F-Series starts its epic run as the best-selling trucks in America. Fast forward to 2017, F-Series is still king for 40 straight years. How? Rock-solid durability, up to the nanosecond technology, and jaw-dropping capability. No wonder the competition hasn't been number one since these. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 40 straight years.
Bucks Island is one of the oldest boat dealers in Alabama, serving boaters since 1948 with the largest boat showroom in the state. Bass boats featuring Skeeter, cruisers and sport boats featuring Monterey, pontoons featuring Crest, G3 and Voyagers, powered by Mercury and Yamaha. Bucks Island has sold over 10,000 boats and with a full service and parts and accessories department to keep your boat in top condition. Don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote. Visit Bucks Island on Highway 77 in Southside or online at bucksisland.com. Give them a call at 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island, where our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
Reinhardt Lexus brings exciting offers with rates as low as 0%, rebates for college grads and military, and low monthly payments. The time to save is now at Reinhardt Lexus, where you'll feel like family.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Dark Insurance, offering insurance for all your personal needs, including auto, boat, homeowners, and disability. Don't be in the dark. Call Dark Insurance at 256-234-5026.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you until 9 o'clock, talking about the NCAA baseball tournament. The Super Regionals going on right now. It's the best 2 out of 3, as we mentioned, Auburn losing a heartbreaker to Florida State the other night, on Sunday night especially, as Cole Lipscomb does it about, pitches the guts out really as a senior, gets it to the 9th inning. Auburn chips away and chips away and chips away, scores 3 in the 9th, but just unable to get it done. Just a heartbreaker, but comes back and is really not competitive the next day. I think the guy, the pitcher for Florida State, threw the best game of his life.
Last night, that
Zurzow. I mean, they said the longest outing of his career was 5 innings.
And that's
he threw
in high
a
school.
complete game.
He never threw a complete game in high school, which is.
I mean,
ridiculous.
how do you,
he was on fire, but I also think that was one of those moments where the loss carried over for Auburn. I mean, their bats were just absolutely dead. It was a putrid hitting performance.
Yeah.
The only thing that was worse this year was when they were no-hit by Arkansas.
Yeah.
So, again, they just seemed to be out of it from the beginning. And Florida State, it was one of those times when if you're Auburn, you would have loved normally to be the home team. I mean, I know it was in Tallahassee, but Auburn was the batted last. But what happened was Florida State gets on the board early, and it just seemed like that it was Katie bar the door.
Yeah, I knew. I mean, when I saw who they were going to start, Gabe Klobositz, and I thought, oh boy.
Boy, they had a quick hook on him though.
Well, I mean, you give up 2 runs early. I mean,
Yeah, but you run out of pitchers too.
Yeah.
Now
they had saved the bullpen. I mean, it was all hands on deck. I mean, bullpen was pretty fresh because you'd gotten so much out of Keegan Thompson and
they only gave up 6 runs. It's not like Auburn gave up a ton of runs. I mean, they only gave up 6, and I think giving up 6 to Florida State in Tallahassee isn't awful.
In college baseball, you got to score. I mean, that's just the bottom line. But that it is what it is. And Luke is thrilled about Davidson and Missouri State and the Dirtbags from Long Beach State getting into the Super Regionals. It's going to be a great couple of weeks.
And I could live with all of it. I really could. I could live with Davidson. I think 64 teams is too many teams in a tournament to determine a national championship, period, end of story. That goes for basketball, it goes for whatever sport you want. That's why college football gets it right. But if we're going to do it this way, and you're going to have your Davidsons, and you got to have your Missouri States, and you got to have all them because everybody loves the little guy, when we get to the Super Regional, I think you should reseed. Because here's the problem. Oregon State, which was clearly the best team in the country all season long, they probably have the best record in the country. They are head and shoulders above most every team in this country. They now get to play Vandy, a team that has won a national championship of late, and a team that knows how to win, whereas I think they should get to play the pick of the litter. They should get to play the lowest seeded team remaining, and that would probably be Davidson. It probably wouldn't be Missouri State. It'd probably be Davidson. And so I think that's how this should work because Oregon State proved enough through the regular season. I think they deserve more of an advantage. Meanwhile, Louisville, another team that's been in the top 5, top 10 for most of the season, they get to play Kentucky. And Kentucky's not bad. Kentucky's pretty good. I think that Louisville should be playing a Long Beach or Cal State Fullerton or a Sam Houston State. Instead, Florida State, a team that kind of snuck into the tournament. They snuck into their own hosting a regional. And now they get to
won their own tournament.
And now they get to host a super regional playing Sam Houston State. I mean, it's not fair to the other teams that did so much throughout the year.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I certainly wouldn't be opposed to that, reseeding. It would be a more fair way to do it, I suppose. But, you win your way in. This is the way they do it now. Cal State Fullerton, I don't know, you kind of selling them short. They've got about 5 or 6 national titles,
Yeah, I know. And in baseball, it's a little bit different, so forgive me, Cal State Fullerton fans.
Yeah, there are a lot of them.
I just threw them out there because I'm trying to make a point about Kentucky. I know Kentucky's pretty strong. And Kentucky obviously also played in the best conference in the country. I mean, I think that's playing out in this tournament as well. And so Kentucky's having, say, a 42-20 record or whatever they are is different than Davidson having a 42-20 record. It's not apples to apples. And I feel like that should be reflected in how you move along in the tournament, and you should be rewarded for doing well in the regular season. That's where every other sport messes up to me, and college football is 100% correct.
Well, you got Vanderbilt, as he said, going out to Corvallis to take on Oregon State, Cal State Fullerton, and Long Beach State out there in Long Beach, the Dirtbags. I mean, you got to love that. That's just that's a great.
But it also, okay, I love it in one sense because it's kind of funny to say. In another sense, it's very hard to take them seriously then. You know, it seems like something you'd watch a movie about where they were, you know, the Dirtbag. We're called the Dirtbags. Yeah. Nobody believes in us. And then Scott Bakula hits a home run to take the Dirtbags to the national championship.
That's pretty good, too. At Dick Howser Stadium, you have Sam Houston State going to Florida State. I would assume Auburn would have been hosting this regional. That would have been
another problem with this, because here's Auburn, a 3 seed in their pod, so effectively kind of the equivalent of a 10 to 12 seed in college basketball, and they would have been hosting a team that was I think they were a 4 seed, which is effectively a 14 to 16 team seed in the NCAA basketball tournament. So it's not fair that Auburn would have been hosting something. They should have reseeded this whole thing and given a team like Vandy, for instance. Vandy should have been hosting maybe Auburn if you want to keep it geographically correct.
Well, Auburn was actually better than Vandy.
I'm throwing out Vandy because they won an national. I don't know everybody's record on here, Andy. Work with me.
I'm just trying to keep it real. Mississippi State at LSU. At dog-eat-dog world there in the SEC.
And I don't like that either. I don't like that they set it up where they make it so an SEC team has to be eliminated. And you know they do this purposefully. I think it would have been better.
They could have done it worse, though. I mean, it only happened to one team.
Yeah, so. It could have been done a little worse, I suppose. But I would have rather seen Mississippi State play Oregon State and Vandy well, I guess there's so many SEC teams in here, somebody's going to double up, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the way they've got it set up now, and plus you're on either side of the bracket.
Or you could have Mississippi State go to Long Beach and Cal State go to LSU. I mean, that's fine.
That's fine, too. But in this way, you could definitely have 2 SEC teams playing for the national championship. Davidson travels to Texas A&M, Kentucky. Won't have to go far to go to Louisville, Jim Patterson Stadium there. Missouri State goes to TCU, Wake Forest, traveling to the Florida Gators at McKeithen Stadium.
Let me add something else, too, going back to Kentucky and Louisville. And everybody thinks, well, that's great and it's going to be a good atmosphere. And it kind of will be, but it also takes away some of the advantage for Louisville because you know there are going to be a lot of Kentucky fans there as well. And so it shouldn't be where it's even. I mean, Louisville won the right.
Don't you have to balance excitement for the sport and, excitement for the fans? And
if you really want to do all that, get Davidson out of it. I mean, because honestly, they're not going to bring a lot to the table. You know what I mean?
They might excite fans like me out there in the country that actually like baseball.
Give me your report on that Davidson A&M series next week.
I will.
Yeah. You're going to watch it now out of spite.
I absolutely. Yeah. Every stinking inning.
You can find it on TV.
That's right. ESPN3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of Sportz Blitz Live right after this.
If you've been putting off that new heating and air unit in your home because of the upfront expenses, Williams Plumbing of Alexander City now has primary financing from Synchrony and can now install brand new heating and cooling systems with 0 down, longer terms, and a competitive rate. Call Williams Plumbing at 256-329-8488 and get a free quote and terms and upgrade up to $35,000 in work with approved credit. Williams Plumbing stands behind their work with on-time affordable service for all your heating and air needs, as well as plumbing for 0 down financing and great service. Williams Plumbing.
Harbor Point Ship Store has everything to make your day on the lake more enjoyable. Come on out to the biggest marina on the water. They have pizza, hot dogs, burgers, and more. Get your gas, groceries, snacks, ice, and everything you need for a fun day on the lake. Are you in the market for a new or pre-owned boat? Harbor Point has the best selection around of everyone's favorite Crest pontoons and Four Winds boats. Harbor Point also has a great selection of pre-owned boats. Come on out and take a look at Harbor Point, Marina Point Road in Dadeville. Get to the point.
Saturday, July 22nd, Sun Festival, Alexander City welcomes the biggest live act to hit Strand Park to date, Moon Taxi. at Strand Park in historic downtown Alexander City, Saturday, July 22nd. Doors open at 6 p.m. Tickets are only $20 and on sale now at the Alexander City Chamber of Commerce or at alexandercitychamber.com. Presented by the City of Alexander City.
Advantage is defined as a favorable or desirable circumstance or feature, a benefit, and that's just what you'll get with the Gills Auto Sales 5-Star Advantage. Gills worry-free guarantee, a 30-month, 30,000-mile warranty on every vehicle, specialized maintenance from the area's top technicians, and free oil changes with each purchase. Flexible financing to fit any budget or credit situation. Convenience with 6 locations offering quick and easy approvals. And selection, the area's volume leader with over 400 vehicles in stock. There's only one place to get the 5-Star Advantage, and that's only at Gills.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your express way to saving.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Welcome back, everyone. We are rolling merrily along here on Sportz Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you until 9 o'clock. It's time for a little pick a side. We haven't done this one in a couple of weeks, but it's an interesting one. We'll take one side of the argument, try to maybe convince each other, which has never happened on this show, but we'll continue to try to do that.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's just
pick a side.
Efforting.
I'll let you go first. 2017 Golden State Warriors versus 1996 Chicago Bulls. Vegas favors the Warriors.
Okay, when do we play them? Do we play them in 96 or do we play them in 2017?
Your choice.
If we play them in 96, I'm going with the Bulls. And the reason is because back then there were a lot of elbows flying, there were a lot of fouls, there was a lot of hand checking. You could play stronger defense, you could get in people's grills a lot more easily, and I think the Bulls would rough them up. And I think they would use their big men and really end up beating the Warriors pretty good. If you play now, I think the Warriors may sweep the Bulls. And I know that's sacrilege. I'm a Michael Jordan guy myself, but I think they could because you can't touch anybody. And I don't think the Bulls would be used to that at all. They were trained by the Pistons, for God's sakes. So I think that if the Warriors played them now, the Bulls wouldn't know what to do guarding somebody 35 feet away from the basket. And if they were allowed to run like they have been of late, they would run Cartwright and Wellington and, who were the other? Luke Longley. They would run those guys to death.
Yeah, you kind of cheated, but
well, I mean, okay, so but I asked you, when do we play them?
Oh, well, I said
if we play them in 2000,
I didn't say do both.
If we play in 2007, I'm gonna have a tough one to call.
Well,
I'm gonna
okay.
go. I would okay if we play them and they call fouls like they should call fouls, not like they did in '96, not like they do now. I would go Bulls by that much. Like 4-3.
Yeah, that's difficult. I agree with you. I will say, it's hard to judge for me this Warriors team. Because they do play in this modern era, and they are built for this modern era. They're just they're a difficult team to try to gauge against a team. So it is the best team I ever saw play. Really, that '96 team. But I'm like you, it depends on which era you play in, although I will say this, there is no chance that Bulls team would get swept. in any era, playing any kind of defense.
That may be right. I may have been a little hyperbolic there. but thinking about it, I do like the idea of Michael Jordan getting on Steph Curry. Because let me tell you this, and everybody's going to say, oh, he'd lock him down. Did y'all see what Steph did to LeBron James the other night? And LeBron's pretty doggone good on defense.
Very good.
And then you have Scottie Pippen on KD. Now, Pippen, I think, is a very good defender. He made all defensive teams several times. But I don't know that he's played a guy that's close to 7 feet that can do the things KD can do.
Yeah.
And then Draymond Green against Dennis Rodman,
Well, see,
two of the nuttiest guys out there.
I was going to say Rodman would have Green fouled out in about 5 minutes.
Or Green would do something to make Rodman jerk an earring out of his nose and be thrown out himself. They might both foul out simultaneously.
Well, I think that Rodman would, not that he would have him punched him. I mean, Rodman he could make people go insane. And I just think it would be easier for him to get under Green's skin than the other way around.
It would be a heck of a matchup. It would be a lot of fun to watch.
But I'm like you. Scottie Pippen on Kevin Durant would be really fun to watch. Michael Jordan, Klay Thompson, I guess you put Ron Harper on him. But I mean.
And Ron Harper's not a bad defender, but I like the Warriors just offensively because the Warriors will have the mentality of, okay, we'll let you score 110 because we're going to score 130.
Yeah. It would be really, really fun. I wish you could do that. You can't.
Nah.
But anyway, pick a side. Al Pacino, a good idea to play Joe Paterno? Joe Paterno? Al Pacino, a bad idea to play Joe Paterno?
I think it's a good idea because you do need a pretty well-known actor. I don't think you can just throw anybody in there and if you're going to do this story. But I'm sort of with Chris Childers, who I heard earlier on XM Radio. He said, I'm not even sure I want to watch this movie because I've had enough of this story and it's so disgusting. I don't know that I can make myself watch it.
That was my argument. I was going to say, I don't want to see the movie. I don't want to see. I don't want.
It's too
because
soon.
What are we going to do? I mean, how are they going to portray Joe Paterno? I mean, what is it going to be?
But then there's also he's dead now, so you don't know. There might be another side to this story. What if Joe Paterno had lived 10 more years, which would have been, he would have had to have been lacquered to live that much longer. But if he could have, and he had finally come out with the real story, because obviously he told some white lies in there. Obviously he stretched the truth at the very least. And so what if he had been allowed to live long enough to finally come clean and sort of say, look, I messed up. I heard some things and I saw some things and I put it to the wayside because I didn't want to believe it myself. I could buy that story. I could buy that because sometimes you hear something about somebody you love or care about and you're like, I don't believe it. And it's not because you're lying. It's not because it's because you don't want to believe something about somebody you care. And Sandusky and Paterno had a long relationship, but then again, man, there were a lot of kids affected by this, and I just don't know that I'm ready to.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. But that's the way I feel. Pick a side: missing the U.S. Open for your daughter's graduation versus getting mom to tape it.
I'm a big get mom to tape it guy. I mean, everybody graduates from everything now. And I've got a bunch of young kids, and now they got to graduate from 4th grade. You're supposed to graduate from 4th grade. You don't get. I'm not going to eat some bad cookies and bad coffee so I can see you put on some kind of cap and gown to get out of the 4th grade or 5th grade, and even high school. I mean, you're supposed to graduate high school. I mean, it goes back to the Chris Rock argument a long time ago in his comedy bit where he said, I hate it when guys say, I take care of my kids. You're supposed to take care of your kids. I mean, you can be happy that you graduated high school, and I think that's fantastic. And if you're a grandmother out there, you probably disagree with me, that you want to go see all these graduations. That's great. But if you're playing for the U.S. Open, if you're playing golf and you're getting millions of dollars, go play for the millions of dollars.
If it wasn't the U.S. Open, it wouldn't even be a consideration because Mickelson has won those. But this is the one that he's come so close so many times.
It almost makes you wonder if he's backing out of it.
However, his daughter is graduating high school. She's the commencement speaker. He's got to go. I mean, look. I mean,
what? He's got to go and be bored like the rest of us? Can he not just tape
his daughter's graduating from high school. He's being a good father. Good for you, Phil Mickelson. He knows he's never going to win an Open. Heck, I mean, it's next year. It's at Shinnecock, I think, where he's actually had some good fortune.
How can we get on to certain guys? I mean, we get on to guys in football who don't play with sprained ankles. You know what I mean? And we got to get on to this guy for missing a big tournament for something like this. I mean, or at least it's got to change your perception of him a little bit in terms of his will to win. That's one thing that really attracts us to athletes, is how much they're willing to sacrifice to win. And this just tells me it's not all that important to him. And it's also a little bit sad in the sense of, you know, we killed all the NBA players who wanted to rest. You remember that? And I mean, they might have a legitimate argument, but we killed them because we're like, we're paying to see you play. Like, that's part of it. Mickelson, we're paying to see you play. And it's bad for the fan because he's already so rich. What he's basically saying is, I don't even need this money. You know, if he were a struggling PGA professional, he'd be at that tournament. You can bet on that.
I think you're in about the 5th percentile here.
You think so?
I really do.
I mean, look, man, everybody's graduating from everything all the time. You can get to it. She's going to college.
It's
Go to
not
that
like
one.
she's getting out of kindergarten.
No, but she's obviously, if she's the commencement speaker, if she's valedictorian, then she's going to college. Go to that graduation. You don't have to go to both of them.
We'll go ahead and take a break. We may do the rest of these. We may leave them for another day. But we'll decide during the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
It's time to zero in on huge savings at Lynch Nissan of Auburn. 0% financing is back in a big way on many of your favorite Nissan models, but only for a limited time. Buy today and save up to $11,000 off MSRP on remaining 2016s as we make room for the 2017s. Get up to $7,000 off MSRP on the new Altima SL or 0% for 72 months. Just click it and pick it now at lynchnissan.com. Lynch Nissan of Auburn, I-85 at exit 51.
At U.S. Ameribank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, U.S. Ameribank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the U.S. Ameribank difference. U.S. Ameribank. Banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Jewelry by Design is Auburn's premier jeweler for over 20 years. Mark and Tammy Nelson invite you to see their unique selection of engagement rings, each crafted to be a one-of-a-kind masterpiece, custom designed with only natural premium diamonds that are never enhanced. Jewelry by Design is also your officially licensed Auburn University jeweler that handcrafts all of their Auburn jewelry, as unique as your passion for the Auburn Tigers. For jewelry that's crafted to your style, visit Jewelry by Design on Dean Road in Auburn or online at jewelrybydesignauburn.com.
Now there's no excuse. Drive a new Hyundai today. Trade and drive this 17 Elantra today, just $49 a month. Trade and drive this 17 Sonata, $99 a month. Or trade and drive this 17 Santa Fe Sport, just $139 per month. At Hyundai of Auburn, deluxe safety, comfort and economy features, no extra charge, and locally built. Lease, finance, and credit options for you. We want your trade, even if you deal someplace else. But why would you? Trade and drive today at Hyundai of Auburn for $49 a month.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life. Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17 season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tune with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin. This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Satterfield on Highway 280 in Alex City. Satterfield is the Lake Martin area's Big Green Egg and Accessories headquarters.
Hello again. Welcome to Blitz Live. We were doing a pick a side. We take two different arguments and, we pick a side. We got down to about halfway through these. This is kind of an interesting one that popped up the other day. The Tiger mascot of LSU, clearly racist, versus, you got to be kidding me.
I mean, I'm going to take you got to be kidding me, because I've read up on this story because I hadn't heard much about this, and apparently LSU Tigers are not named necessarily for just the animal tiger. There was a faction, a battalion, whatever. I'm not big on my war verbiage, but of the Confederate Army that were called the Louisiana Tigers. And of course, they fought for the South, and they fought maybe directly under Robert E. Lee in some battle, yada, yada, yada. And that's where it came from, because they were known for their tenacity, and they were known for their never die attitude, even though they surrendered, I guess. But so in 1895, when LSU started playing football and they needed a mascot, they adopted the Tigers as their mascot, not for the tiger itself, but because that group of Confederates was called the Tigers, who I assume was based on the actual tiger animal.
And they were ferocious.
And they were ferocious. By default, you could say it's a tiger. But this is really people stretching to find something racist in something. This is so stupid. I don't even know why it's in discussion, but it's out there and it's on the interwebs, so enjoy.
Yeah, I even if I'm supposed to argue against it, I'm not.
That's just, honestly, one guy said this is just another way for the white people to put down black. And I said, have they seen the LSU football team?
Yeah, really.
I mean, if anything, it's
glorifying.
Yeah, So it's kind of comical at this point. But this guy, whoever this was, went out and got 500 signatures. Now, some of them may have been it was Alfred E. Newman. I mean, I don't know, but he apparently got 500 signatures, so that made it a story.
Yeah. All right, athletic directors being honest with coaches. Texas A&M, Tennessee, both stating publicly, we need to win more games, versus the total disingenuous vote of confidence.
Okay, I'm pro vote of confidence in the sense of I feel for athletic directors, because what are they supposed to do? Tell you the truth? Well, as soon as they tell you the truth, you say you can't say that, and that's why
they say you can't handle the truth.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm all for athletic directors taking the PC route of, hey, look, yeah, we all want to win more games, but he's our guy, or whatever they say, or he's our coach till the end. Well, you know that's a lie. Because everything in sports, everybody lies about stuff like that. You know, everybody's saying, I'm going to be in here the rest of my career. Well, you may not have the choice, and you may get a better offer, and if you do, you'll leave. I think that when you're honest, like they were about Kevin Sumlin and like they were about Butch Jones, I think that it can be tough on the team, and it's one of those things where if I were the coach, I'd go in and say, look, man, I'm trying to recruit. Now, having said all that, Texas A&M has had a massive couple of weeks in recruiting. They might be the highest ranked team in the SEC in terms of recruiting rankings right now. Even I hadn't started paying that much attention to recruiting rankings yet. But they've cleaned up these last few weeks. So got to give Kevin Sumlin some credit for being able to recruit despite the fact that his athletic director said, yeah, he better win this year.
I think we're probably at the point now where, I mean, you know, everybody already knows what's going on. Everybody knows everything within 5 seconds anyway. Why not just be honest now? Coaches know it. We all know it. Let's just stop being politically correct. Let's let everybody tell the truth.
If you could wave a wand and have Jay Jacobs tell you whatever, what would you want him to say about Gus Malzahn?
I believe he probably, if I could wave one and hear what the truth is or hear what I want him to say.
I think both. I'd like to hear both.
The truth is we don't think we can do a whole lot better right now. We're going to let him see what he can do for the next 2 years, and then we're going to try to make a decision, is the truth. What I would like to hear him say is
See, it's tricky. It's tricky. It's hard for an athletic director. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you come out and tell the truth, then all of a sudden people are like, hey, man, how are you supposed to recruit when you tell them somebody's on the hot seat? It's not right. It's not fair. And that's why I think the PC way is the only way to go.
Well, you may be right. I put this one on here, really, the last one, just to mess with you.
Go ahead.
But the designated hitter versus no designated hitter.
Look, yeah, it does mess with me because there's part of me that says make the pitchers hit. There's a part of me that says baseball's boring enough. You know they're not going to get a hit. Put a designated hitter out there. In fact, give him a lot of steroids so he can hit a home run, and let's be done with it.
I've always hated the designated hitter. I mean, I understand it gives some older guys a chance to further their career, and some of the guys have made. And Frank Thomas, you know, it was really good at it for a long. Edgar Martinez, you know, really good at it, and it probably add something to the American League game a little bit, but it's not a pure brand of baseball, and not making the pitcher hit, I just think I don't like it. I never have, and I never will. I'm a National League guy, so do away with it.
You're a purist.
That's right. I'm a purist.
Except you love the one-game playoff that baseball has.
No, I don't. Okay. We'll go ahead and take another break. We'll come back. It looks like Oklahoma's taking the lead over Florida.
Memory lane when we come back. If you're an Alabama fan and you want to reminisce about some Bill Curry excitement, come on back.
And there was a lot. He was Mr. Excitement. More to come right after this.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
At US AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, US AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the US AmeriBank difference. US AmeriBank, banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control company for a generation, and now we're proud to announce our new name, EnviroCare. You can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs, and EnviroCare's exclusive Centricon termite colony elimination system that provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. The EnviroCare Centricon termite protection protects your home year-round. Call the professionals of EnviroCare throughout Central East Alabama. Call for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
Jackson Refrigeration is Central East Alabama's Alabama Power's superior solutions dealer. With rapid response time and on-budget pricing, we're Central East Alabama's and the area's authorized Goodman Heating and Air dealer. We make your peace of mind easy and give you peace of mind when it comes to your heating and air needs. As a superior solutions dealer, Jackson Refrigeration can help save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Jackson Refrigeration works on all existing brands and units and has the team to solve your heating and cooling needs, no matter the season.
In a world that's ever changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a 4-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success.
Ask what makes it the best 3 Series ever, and we'll tell you it has more advanced suspension and steering, or even more control of the road. And it's near perfectly balanced to put performance first. But ask if we're aware the competition mimics us just to keep up. No comment. The BMW 3 Series.
Visit BMW of Columbus on Whittlesey Boulevard or shop bmwofcolumbus.com.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live. It's time for a stroll down memory lane. As we started this segment a couple weeks back, we'll take a look back at some older college football games. Certainly dealing with Auburn and Alabama. We'll eventually go back and look at some Iron Bowls and talk about those, but these are just some that came to our minds. We did Auburn and Florida from 1994. This week it is Alabama and Tennessee from 1989. The number 6 Tennessee Volunteers traveling to Legion Field to take on Alabama, the number 10 team in the country. Of course, Alabama would go on to be 10-0. To head to the Iron Bowl in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Not sure what Tennessee did for the rest of the year, but they ended up going 11-1.
That was the only loss
right?
they had.
Yeah, 11-1.
And here's what's really funny about this game. In '88, and I also went to that game, and there was a string where I went to most every Alabama-Tennessee game. But in '88 in Knoxville, me and my family and another local family, we all went to that game. Alabama wasn't very good, but Tennessee was 0-5 coming in that game. We win that game, Alabama does, to make them 0-6, so they're ineligible for a bowl game. And I remember it well because they wore all orange for that, and that was something a little different for them. And then they didn't lose again. They won the rest of those games that year, so they ended up 5-6. And then coming into this game, they won every game, so they were 6-0 coming into this contest. Alabama and Tennessee were both undefeated, and Alabama was coached by Bill Curry. Tennessee was coached by Johnny Majors.
Johnny Majors.
And so everybody thought this was going to be Tennessee's year. And I'll tell you something. When I was watching them warm up, Tennessee had Carl Pickens, Anthony Morgan, and oh my gosh, I can't remember. I'm going to be really mad when I have to look this name up. But there was another one, Alvin Harper. And they had a ridiculous receiving core, quarterback by number 8, Andy Kelly. They had a running back tandem. They had Chuck Webb and Reggie Cobb. Now, they had beaten Auburn earlier in the year, and Reggie Cobb really did a lot of the damage, if I remember, in that game.
He did.
But Reggie Cobb got busted for drugs of some description, so he was out of this game. Chuck Webb was still very, very good. He's only a true freshman. But Alabama, as you see, if you're watching us on TV right now, they had Keith McCants, who was just, man, he was one of the better linebackers in Alabama history. He was great. He had a big game. Ephraim Thomas was on that team for Alabama. But I think the thing most people remember about this game is offense. Alabama ended up winning 47-30. Lamont Russell was on that team. Gary Hollingsworth. There's Kevin Turner catching a pass. People forget what kind of athlete he was because of the way his life ended on the backside. But my goodness, he was a great athlete. Just a phenomenal, very versatile fullback. Hollingsworth had a big day. But the day belonged to Saran Stacy. He had 317 all-purpose yards, I believe. Maybe 4 touchdowns. I can't remember exactly, but one of the biggest plays of the game was the shuffle pass. Shovel or shuffle. I've been told both of them are right.
I always called it shovel.
But he caught the shuffle pass, which really wasn't popular at the time. Homer Smith was Alabama's offensive coordinator. He comes in, brings the play in, and Brett Musburger very famously says, Saran Stacy explodes as he bursts through the line and goes all the way for a touchdown. Philip Doyle, you're seeing him on the highlights. I hope that we can get this Saran Stacy play in. Here it is right here.
Yeah.
As you can see him, he wasn't the fastest. He
There's
wasn't the most
Reese Floyd,
elusive.
right there.
But right there. Yeah, he does cut through the line right there. Tennessee had some unbelievable players back in those times. They just couldn't beat Alabama. They could not do it. Give Bill Curry credit. He never lost to them. But he couldn't beat Auburn. Meanwhile, this year, talking about Alabama, Tennessee, this will be the 100th meeting, I believe, between the two schools. And Alabama is going for its record-tying streak against Tennessee of 11 straight. This series is maybe the streakiest in the country. Alabama, I think, won 10 straight, and then Tennessee won about 8 straight, or 4 straight, and then Alabama won some more straight, and then Tennessee, and now Alabama, of course, has won 10 straight again. Bill Curry sporting that god-awful Cliff Engel sweater, and I think that was the only person who ever bought one. I don't know what else to say. It was just a great game. It was back when Legion Field was actually fun. You know, it's pretty cool to make fun of Legion Field right now and talk about the old gray lady really is looking old, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, back then it was pretty hopping. Now, hopping enough where I was a little bit scared that the upper deck was going to come crashing down on me, but it was still pretty hopping. That was a fun time. I was in high school, and I actually went with a big Auburn fan that was a friend of mine at the time, and it was just a ball. That Alabama-Tennessee game is really a underappreciated rivalry, and it's funny that everybody's been talking about Auburn to the east, and then a columnist from the Knoxville News Sentinel came out and wrote an article the other day and said Tennessee should quit playing Alabama. They can't hang with them. It's getting embarrassing.
Ridiculed for it.
Huh?
And he was ridiculed for it.
He was ridiculed for it, and people said, you know what? Yeah, Tennessee's not beating them right now. They're not having much success, and in fact, it's pretty humiliating. The tally of the average score is something like 35-10 over this run, or at least over Saban's run. But it's still one of the better rivalries in all of college football, and it just doesn't get the love of some of these others because it's kind of Michigan State, Michigan-y, where they play in the middle of the season, and so it may not mean quite as much. And these two now, they're on different they're in different divisions, so it may not mean as much. Tell you an odd stat to me is the fact that Alabama's never played Tennessee in the SEC championship game. Now, Florida has certainly been a lot more than Tennessee has, but the fact that Tennessee hadn't been...
They're usually the one that costs the other a trip, probably.
Exactly. The fact that Tennessee hadn't been since, what, I guess, 04? 04 probably has a lot to do with that. But it's a little wild that this game hasn't had a rematch yet. I kind of like that, though. I do kind of like that. But if you want to watch a game that's fun, and back when Brett Musburger was for CBS, and I think those were his best broadcasting days, this was a really fun game to be a part of, and it was a 2:30 CBS kick. And another thing that I noticed, I went back and watched this game from kick to the final whistle, I'm going to say maybe 10 years ago, and I wrote a blog about it for Crimson Country Club. And the one thing that I took away from it was Brett Musburger. When he wasn't talking about Saran Stacy, he was salivating over the USC Notre Dame game, which was to follow this broadcast.
And they got in a fight to start the game.
Yeah.
USC and Notre Dame.
That's right. And something else, this was also the year 89. Obviously, Alabama went to Jordan Hare and lost for the first time ever. But it was also the year, people forget, that Alabama went to Penn State, and Blair Thomas on their final drive was just running through Alabama 10 yards, 17 yards, 16 yards, whatever it was, and they get right to the goal line, and Joe Paterno decides to kick it instead of handing it off to Blair Thomas one more time. And when he does kick it, Thomas Ram blocks the field goal, and Ephraim Thomas, I think, recovers it in the end zone. And I remember Charles Woodson running up to the screen and doing that. And it was just back in the days when you couldn't DVR a game, you had to tape it on VCR, and you could tell by the highlights there that somebody taped that on VCR.
Yeah, watching this, I watched the highlights of this game this afternoon. I couldn't help but think, and I guess it's one of those things. You could do this with any game probably in life, but especially this game. I started thinking about, in the moment you see these guys and you're in them, and you don't ever even think about what's going to come next or anything. But I mean, you see the highlight of this game, Saran Stacy, And then you see what happens in his life later on. I mean, and the way he's conquered it, and the way he's overcome it. But Kevin Turner, you see his in the middle of this game. I mean, you see an athlete. You see Keith McCants. He's lost. I mean, you see who was I going to say for Tennessee? I forgot. But there was a guy named Terrence Cleveland was on that team. He later did broadcast for Tennessee, and he said something one night, which I have said about 1,000 times since that. He said, he did that with Little E's. Mm-hmm. And I thought, he said it by accident, but it was one of the funniest things I've ever. I mean, it's just so many of these guys. What has happened to them later on in life? You look back in that moment, and it just who would have thought? I mean, Reggie Cobb in the middle of a great drug problems here. I mean, Andy Kelly. I don't know who that guy was that started that game, but he was awful.
But let me tell you something. Andy Kelly in his prime when he was on. He would have been as good as just about any quarterback that's been in the league. He was the guy you would want to mold out of clay, I thought. I mean, when he was throwing those pretty spirals, but that particular game, he just couldn't get it going. I mean, Alabama had something to do with it. But that was also the year, '89, when Alabama went to Ole Miss, and the game wasn't on TV at all. I flew out there, I drove out there with some other guys from our high school group, got up a bus or a van and went over there, and Alabama was down 21-0, and the next thing you know, I think Alabama wins 62-27. That was really the beginning of that offensive explosion. Homer Smith, everybody likes to talk about Gus Malzahn, Chip Kelly, whatever. When Homer Smith had it going, he turned Gary Hollingsworth into an all-SEC quarterback. Let that sink in. I mean, Gary Hollingsworth was not exactly your prototypical NFL starter. I mean, he was a $150 soaking wet. And Craig Sanderson, number 21 in your program, number 1 in your heart, was Alabama's leading receiver that particular year. And he was a lot like Will Hastings for Auburn now. I mean, just undersized, not exactly who you think of when you think of a wide receiver. Yeah. But he was great. Lamont Russell was fantastic. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, too. So
2 top 10 programs, undefeated. And yet Bill Curry's not going to be there next year. Yeah. Johnny Majors is going to be gone in a couple of years. I mean, it's crazy how quickly things happen, and the things that happen later on.
It's fun. It is funny to go back to these games. I'll tell you, man, you want to talk about a good 30 for 30, maybe only for this state, but you could talk about some of the catastrophes and the tragedies for Saran Stacy, for Keith McCants, for Kevin Turner. I mean,
Gene Jelks was in that game. He caught a punt. He returned a punt.
He did return a punt in that game. You're absolutely right. So I mean, it's pretty. Actually, Gene Jelks wasn't on that team.
Yeah, he was.
Was he?
Yeah.
You saw the highlights.
I did.
Okay.
I watched the game.
I don't remember his being in that game.
He returned a punt.
Okay.
They talking about he had come back.
He had from his injury. Yeah. That's right. Because I remember '88 being the last time he really made a difference in something.
They said he wasn't quite ready to be in the secondary, but he could still return kicks.
Yeah. He got. I wish maybe if his mouth had been injured, maybe it would have helped Alabama a little bit out.
Well, that's going to wrap up Memory Lane. It was a fun one, very nostalgic. But if you got any ideas or you got any suggestions for a game, please just give us a call and we'll put that game on sometime. Up against a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17 season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tune with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin.
Whether it's a dream house or corporate real estate, Concrete has the skill, expertise, and talent to exceed your expectations. Trust Concrete to build a foundation for your future. Our work ethic and dedication are always in keeping the competition on their toes. We specialize in residential and commercial development in the Coosa, Talladega, and Shelby County areas. Call us today for your next project, 256-245-4211, or check us out on the web at con-crete.com.
If you currently have an FHA mortgage, this commercial is for you. Most people that currently have an FHA mortgage are working with Home Place Mortgage to refinance their current loan. Several items have changed to make now the perfect time to refinance. FHA has reduced the amount of monthly mortgage insurance. Current interest rates for FHA loans are at all-time lows. FHA has eliminated the need for new appraisal. Most people will be able to refinance with little or no closing costs. This is the opportunity that you have been waiting for. Call now to start saving.
It's Truck Month.
It's Ram Truck Month at Bice Motors in Alex City. Save over $10,000 off MSRP on select Ram 1500 or 2500.
Trucks, and more trucks.
Nice price, lowest price.
Great looking trucks and great looking discounts.
Buy it at Bice.
Lake Martin's Ram Truck Headquarters.
America's longest lasting trucks.
BiceChryslerDodge.com.
And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
You can count on the caring team at Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation. Our services include physical, speech, and occupational therapy. Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation, 256-329-9061.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, offering a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, electrical, and plumbing supplies. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rate products, and competitive do-it-best pricing.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you for about... what is it? 38 more minutes?
You messed up the math last time, yeah.
38 more minutes in today's show. 5-4 Oklahoma. Looks like that game's slowly moving along. A little bit more scoring tonight. I think everybody's still a little tired from last night. The pitching's not quite what it was. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Moving along in tonight's show, how about 5 SEC players with the most to prove in 2017? I saw this on Saturday down south and just decided to basically steal it and write my column, 5 Auburn players with the most to prove, or actually 5 the positions at Auburn with the most to prove in 2017.
I mean, there are only so many positions.
There are, but I mean, I did 5.
Was quarterback one of them?
It was number 1.
Yeah.
But here are 5 SEC players. You tell me if you agree with them. You can throw in your own if you think one more a player deserves to be there more than one of these. But they started, and this is in no really discernible order, Jacob Eason, and I think that's probably a very good one because, to me, he has a lot to prove. Last year, I mean, there were at times, that South Carolina game was just horrendous. But they won.
He wasn't good.
But they won the game.
But he wasn't good against Auburn.
No, he was not. He was terrible.
It wasn't like that was a world-class Pat Dye Auburn defense either. And, I think he should definitely be on this list. And the other thing that keeps him on there is that they've got Jake Fromm, who is nipping at his heels, a true freshman that was at one time committed to Alabama, and he signed with Georgia, and he looked good in the spring game. But, another reason he's got something to prove, I saw where one general manager for an NFL team who was unnamed apparently told some NFL beat writer, yeah, Jacob Eason, I could see him going number 1 in the draft in a couple of years. I mean, I guess it could happen, and I'm a Jacob Eason guy. I've been sort of touting him here on the show because I've been saying how much better the quarterback's going to be in the SEC. Quarterback play is going to be in the SEC, and I've been using Jacob Eason as an example. But I'm not saying he's going to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, and I got to see a little more from him.
Well, Mel Kiper said that Duke Williams is going to be the number 1 receiver too.
Yeah, that's true. You know what though? If he hadn't been a complete flame out mentally, he might have been pretty high.
If.
Or he just might have been pretty high. Who knows?
Or he just might have been pretty high. Antonio Callaway, here's your boy.
I disagree here. Like, really, how do you say he's got a lot to prove? I think he's already proven exactly what he is. This isn't like Jacob Eason to me. I mean, I know what Callaway can do. But I guess if you want to say in the sense of he has a lot to prove, can he keep his head on straight? Then I could buy it.
That's probably true. Can he keep himself in check? Keep himself out of jail?
Yeah.
Bo Scarborough.
And again, I think we know what Bo Scarborough can do. I mean, the last few games of the season, he looked like he might be the best running back in the league until he got hurt against Clemson. Now, if you want to say he has to prove that he won't get hurt, then I guess that's a valid argument. But if you want to say he's got to prove his talent, I think he's proven exactly what he can do. You go back and watch that Tennessee game, for example, last year when Alabama won 49-10. He blew by people on that last long touchdown run. And that's kind of what Bo Scarborough is, but he can also get hurt. He's one of those bruising Alabama backs that, they can get hurt. And he got hurt against Clemson. It may have cost Alabama the game.
Danny Etling from LSU.
Again, I hate to disagree with just about everybody on this list. Hadn't we seen what Danny Etling is? I mean, what does he have to prove? Because if Danny
Etling,
actually
pretty good.
Well, if Danny Etling comes out and shows us that he's actually pretty good, he's not proving anything to us. He is surprising us. You know what I mean? But to prove it means you believe something and then they actually go out there and do it, so it goes with what your belief was. My belief is he's not a good quarterback. So if he goes out there and does something incredible, I'm going to be like, he didn't prove anything. He surprised me and surpassed all my expectations.
You convinced me.
Okay.
I don't even know who this guy is. Darren Kirkland?
Yeah, I do remember him, and it did hurt Tennessee last year that they lost him. Yeah, and I like on here, or is this your wording or theirs, where it says like all Tennessee's top defenders last year? Yeah, that's true. He's been pretty good. He's a good player, but I think they're reaching here when the obvious answer is Jarrett Stidham, right? I mean, that's the answer. That's the one who has something to prove. Everybody believes he's going to be a superstar. So the Vegas odds of his winning the Heisman went from 50-1 to 20-1, which is tied with Jalen Hurts now and tied with Bo Scarborough. So isn't he the one with something to prove? I mean,
there's no question.
I guess it's so obvious that they don't want to go too cheaply with this, and they need to throw somebody else out there. But I think I would put him or Kerryon Johnson on this list before I would or Nate Craig Myers. I mean, I'm trying to find an Auburn guy so he can be more relatable. But
I'll put the entire receiving corps.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. That's going to wrap up the 5 players.
Well, yeah, I thought you were going to expand a little more there.
No, they'll have to wait till tomorrow to read in the Outlook.
I got you.
But we're going to go ahead and take another break. When we come back, we'll continue this fascinating discussion. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
Lakeside Marina and Watercraft Rentals have spring fever and are happy to announce that Bennington is back. Lakeside Marina at Blue Creek is now Lake Martin's Bennington pontoon dealer with all models of Bennington pontoons that deliver speed, power, and stability with their elliptical sport packages and best-in-class styling and luxury. See the full line now for best selection as well as the all-new personal watercraft from Kawasaki. Lakeside Marina at Blue Creek, #1 for a reason. Lakeside Marina is also your authorized Easy Go kart dealer for Lake Martin.
Got your eye on a new Nissan? It's time to zero in on huge savings at Lynch Nissan of Auburn. 0% financing is back in a big way on many of your favorite Nissan models, but only for a limited time. Buy today and save up to $11,000 off MSRP on remaining 2016s as we make room for the 2017s. Get up to $5,000 off MSRP on the new Rogue SL or 0% for 72 months. Just click it and pick it now at lynchnissan.com. Lynch Nissan of Auburn, I-85 at exit 51.
Hi?
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee? Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cash aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
Whether it's a walk-off home run, a game-winning touchdown, or a buzzer beater, make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup. Located in downtown Sylacauga and a short drive from Highway 280, Jay's has the food you're looking for. Whether it's wings, fingers, burgers, or salads, they have it all. Come bring your family for a great meal, come hang out with your friends for the big game, or call them at 256-207-0700 to place your order. Make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Glenn Smith Automotive, carrying a full line of vehicle brands from Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Toyota. Highway 280 in Sylacauga and Columbus Parkway in Opelika. Glenn Smith, get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live. About 30 more minutes left in tonight's show. Who you got? This is a segment that we always enjoy. It's silly and has a little something to do with sports and a little not something to do with sports. So we'll just jump right into it. Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair? Who you got? In a fight, who do you like better? It doesn't matter what.
I'm going to go Ric Flair. I think Ric Flair was pretty nationally underrated. Hulk Hogan was the man. For nationally, they did cartoons and action figures, and I don't know if Ric Flair ever had an action figure, but he needed one, man.
He deserved one.
He was great.
Still
is great.
As a 12-year-old, it was hands down, no question, Hulk Hogan. But as I've gotten older, it's Ric Flair.
Yeah.
He's just,
he's aged better for sure. Hulk Hogan kind of aged right in front of us. It seemed like every match he lost more hair.
Yeah.
And it was funny. He had no hair anywhere except just the little cul-de-sac mullet he had, and the goatee.
Yeah, but him going bad, that whole deal. I gave I think that increased his level a little bit.
Well, he had to do that. That was the only chance he had.
Yeah, but Ric Flair, 18 time, I think, world champion. We are the champions.
I don't know how official any of those stats are.
We Are the Champions by Queen or Center Field by John Fogerty?
I think We Are the Champions. Center Field's pretty good and it's catchy and whatever, and put me in, coach. But I think We Are the Champions because We Are Champions was probably preceded by We Will Rock You. And so they kind of combined. I think it's 2 versus 1.
Well, that may be true. There's something about that song though. It's like
it relaxes
summer.
you.
It's like summer.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you hear that song, you just can't help but think. Your mind just goes to that. Being a kid or something, playing outside, and I don't know. I love it.
I get you, and I'm saying that's why it's a hard competition because.
That's why it's on the list.
Yeah, I understand because if it's center field, then you think about maybe chilling in a hammock and you got a game on the radio. But if it's We Are the Champions,
you just won the championship.
You just won the championship, and you can see the confetti raining down on you.
Yeah, this is true. Alfred Hitchcock or Stephen King?
I'm going to go Alfred Hitchcock. I think Stephen King would probably win this by most people, but I loved some Alfred Hitchcock back in. My mom was a big fan of Alfred Hitchcock, and I think he was the original master, and I think without him, there is no Stephen King.
That's a good point. I love Christine. I love Silver Bullet. I love all those, the Langoliers. I mean, I love all those. But I'm a big Hitchcock fan too. I love the ones that, a lot of people don't. I mean, everybody knows Vertigo and, Psycho and all those, but I mean, I like Strangers on a Train.
Yeah.
And some of those older ones that he did, and I don't know, he was a weird guy. I mean, to come up with the things that he did.
The Alfred Hitchcock Presents were always good
Oh,
too.
yeah,
The
I
little
love
shorts, those were fantastic. And Stephen King, I think he's great, and I think that he's obviously brilliant, but he gets a little supernatural, like things just sort of happen. Like there's just an alternate universe, and it's kind of comic booky sometimes where I like the fact that Alfred Hitchcock's were more grounded in reality. Like
it's all about the human mind.
And see, he was ahead of his time because I think at the time people probably thought Psycho was, there's no way that could ever happen. We've seen that can probably happen. You probably know somebody that's probably happening with. I mean, truth is stranger than fiction a lot of times now, and Hitchcock was just ahead of his time.
This is true, except for the birds. That was weird.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you what, you didn't look at birds the same way.
No, you didn't. But that was one of those.
Like when you saw a flock of seagulls, not the band. I'm talking about the bird. All of a sudden, you were like, those seagulls need to get away from me.
They were both pretty scary.
You were going for a phone booth.
Rocky 3 or Rocky 4?
This one is tough, okay? I'm going to have to go Rocky 3 because it gave us Eye of the Tiger.
That's pretty good. And Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang, even though, I was going to say, I don't know if Clubber Lang was as good of a arch nemesis, but I guess
he's Drago?
Is Drago
or Apollo? Well, certainly not Apollo, but
no, it was Drago. Well, because Apollo was, killed by Drago. I mean,
he was
killed by him. I mean,
he killed Apollo. It's tough.
That's pretty tough. But
just for Rocky 3, for one, if for nothing else, for the scene where Rocky's going to retire and Clubber's in the audience and he says, "Hey woman, hey woman."
It was.
That is so funny.
Far and away, Mr. T / B.A. Baracus' best acting performance.
Oh, no question. No question.
And I'm going to tell you, at the time, he was a scary dude.
Yes, he was.
Looking back now, that haircut was so stupid. It's hard to even.
And
it was
the
sort
feathers,
of. It was like George Jefferson on steroids. I mean, like he grew some hair, just Rogained it right down the middle. Yeah. But all the jewelry. But Drago, man, he was. He was pretty cut up. He was on steroids.
He was on the juice, yeah.
He's pretty.
He's a Russian.
Russian, yeah. And I mean, it was right in the middle of the kind of a really sketchy time between America. We should have another Rocky 4.
Rocky melted the Cold War. I mean, chocolate chip or Thin Mint?
Thin Mint. I think that's
I'm all in.
I love.
I get 1,000 of those.
Yeah, those Thin Mints, man. And I used to love it. They don't really do this as much at hotels anymore, but they used to leave some on your pillows. And man, those you'd be calling down saying they didn't leave Thin Mints, lying, but just wanting them to bring you some more Thin Mints. And you can buy them. That's the thing. Like I remember. I guess I grew up in Atlantic City. I don't remember a lot of Andes chocolates and Piggly Wiggly, but I guess now you can get everything all the time.
Yeah.
It would have been a horrible, horrible thing for my acne from my weight, which was already terrible as a kid, if I could have gotten my hands on Andy's chocolates at all times.
I'm talking about the Girl Scouts, man.
Or the Girl Scouts.
No, that is like a, I mean.
But I mean, when I think Thin Mints, I think of Andy's.
I think about the Girl
I still
Scout
like Thin Mints better than chocolate chip.
They put an addictive chemical in that. And
Yeah.
they,
you know what's really good? Have you ever frozen them and then had them? That's awesome.
Well, I've had mint chocolate chip ice cream, which I'm assuming.
No, freeze the cookies and then eat them. It's
really
unbelievable. It like releases their inner goodness. I don't know what it is.
I will definitely
Freezing
try
them
it.
makes them better. I don't know how.
Taco Bell or restaurant Mexican?
First of all, this is a blowout. Restaurant Mexican all day. Taco Bell is barely food to me. I don't like Taco Bell.
It's my favorite fast food.
Oh, you've got to be kidding. People say that, and I look at them strangely. Like, it can't be better than Chick-fil-A.
Yes, it is.
Oh, come on.
I'm not saying it's better. I'm saying I like it better.
Well, just because you don't have a Chick-fil-A here.
No.
If there's a Chick-fil-A and a Taco Bell next to each other, you're going to the Taco Bell? That's what you're telling me?
6 days out of 7.
Mr. Taco Bell wouldn't do that. He'd be like, look, swing by. I'm going to duck my head so nobody sees me, and I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A.
I used to go and get 2 chili cheese burritos and a bean burrito and just have a wonderful night.
I do have to give them a lot of points for creativity because they'll take a taco and then put some other taco around it and then put it inside a burrito and they'll call it something new.
They have fried a chicken and used it as a shell.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I'm telling you, it's good.
I'm sure it's good, but regular Mexican restaurant, that's where it's at. I mean, when they make the salsa,
I love that.
They make
it's wonderful, but I'm gonna tell you,
you're not taking Taco Bell over a regular Mexican restaurant.
I am.
There's no chance, man.
That Taco Bell is just good.
You're just going against me for. You talk about out of spite. This is crazy. This is a blowout. This is the '96 Bulls against some team you've never heard of.
Oh boy. There's something wrong with me, but that's okay.
That's okay. And it's mostly in the digestive area, is what I can surmise from this.
We're going to go ahead and take a break. We're going to try to contain ourselves or control ourselves. Or
if you've had Taco Bell, you're not going to be able to.
Well, we'll be back with more right after this.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
If you're looking for a great location to hold your summer football or band camp, Lima Ward Military Academy is the place for you. Our 300-acre campus is located conveniently off Highway 280. We have dorm facilities to house 100 to 200 students, regulation fields with lights, practice fields, dining facilities, air-conditioned gymnasiums, indoor pool, and miles of running trails. Our secluded location will build cohesion within your organization and allow your kids to focus on the basics. If you have any questions, give us a call at 256-675-6396 or check out our website at lwma.org.
Hello, I'm Harvey B. Campbell Jr., the manager and founding partner of Alabama Consumer Law, LLC. We are a law firm dedicated to helping you, the consumer, from all kind of debt issues. We can handle Chapter 13s, Chapter 7s, and Chapter 12s, and Chapter 11s if you need help.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. We are a debt relief agency. We are a private company. We are not associated with any state or federal government agency.
Your comfort is our #1 concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's train dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our #1 concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
Yamaha is beating the field in just about every category of motorsport products. offering unbelievable performance, handling, features, technology, and at prices that are blowing everyone's mind, especially the competition. Visit Twin City Yamaha on Stage Road in Auburn.
Hi, this is Scott Tway with Twin Cities Yamaha in Auburn. Isn't it about time to put some fun back in your life? Call us and see what we mean. 334-821-0439 or on the web at www.twincitiesyamaha.com.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills. Cars that fit your budget. Service that no one around can beat. Stop by today and test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance you. Gotta get to Gills. Selection and price. Gotta get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Hyundai of Auburn. You owe it to yourself. Call Hyundai of Auburn today at 334-321-0777 and visit them online at HyundaiofAuburn.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live. Just a couple of segments left in tonight's program. I got one more Who You Got for you.
Okay.
An upcoming 30 for 30, which we both love, the 30 for 30s. The Celtics and the Lakers. Who you got?
I always pulled for the Lakers back then. Now I have more of an affinity for the Celtics.
Why?
I don't know. I don't
Shaq
like
and
the
Kobe
Lakers
burned
now.
you out or something?
They might have, and also I just don't like the Lakers as a program now anymore, as a franchise. I mean they seem to screw up a lot. They haven't been relevant in several years. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it because I didn't really like either one of those teams. I was more of a Houston fan. Ralph Sampson, Keem Olajuwon, I love them.
I was a big. I mean, I would always pick the Celtics. I always found. I mean, that was the side that I picked. I would Red Sox over the Yankees, Celtics over the. It seemed like the Celtics. I know you always kind of put it in Auburn, Alabama terms.
Yeah.
It seemed like the Lakers were the Alabama,
Yeah.
and the Celtics were. I mean, they were kind of more the blue collar, physical team, and you had the Showtime, of course, with the Lakers. But
I tell you though, I enjoyed the NBA playoffs so much more back then. Even though you always felt like it was going to be Lakers and Celtics, I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching the Lakers beat up on somebody like the Denver Nuggets. I remember, for whatever reason, we were staying in Destin, Florida, and I come back, I was like rushing back to see the NBA playoffs because I was so excited that they were showing the Denver and Lakers game, and LA had 81 points at the half.
Yeah.
And I just
you'd
that
say some
stood out.
160s
Like
or one.
Yeah, in these, maybe with the Golden State era, that may not be so crazy, but back then that was kind of nuts. I mean, that was groundbreaking.
Oh yeah, you saw that. I mean, you would see scores like that, 140 to 130 or stuff like that back then. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure why it went so far to the defensive end. It got so physical. I guess because of the Celtics, because of the Pistons, because of teams like that. Which the Pistons,
you talk about
love,
teams that wanted it. You know, we're talking about Phil Mickelson not going because of a graduation. Let me tell you what, Larry Bird would have missed his daughter's baptism. Magic Johnson would have missed the birth of a child. Robert Parrish would have stepped over his own mother to get to a game. That's why we loved it so much. I mean, when you watch a game now and it's sort of like, well, we can take it or leave it. We got plenty of money. We're not worried about it. Man, those guys were fighting for the passion of the game. They made plenty of money, don't get me wrong, but they're not making anything like what guys are making now.
No, that's a good point. It's a good truth. I think we got one more break to get to. We might as well go ahead and take that now, and we'll come back and we'll close out the show. More to come right after this.
Start the new year in a new Honda at Sarah Honda of Sylacauga. Like a new Civic for just $172 a month during our first big sale of the year. at Sarah Honda of Sylacauga on Highway 280.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
It's Truck Month.
It's Ram Truck Month at Bice Motors in Alex City. Save over $10,000 off MSRP on select Ram 1500 or 2500.
Trucks, and more trucks.
Nice price. Lowest price.
Great looking trucks and great looking discounts.
Buy it at Bice.
Lake Martin's Ram Truck Headquarters.
America's longest lasting trucks.
BiceChryslerDodge.com.
When you're born, you're really young. You're like 0 years old. My grandma tells me to quit growing up so fast. But what can I do about it? My mom keeps throwing me birthday parties.
Russell Medical, comprehensive care in your corner of the world.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Hey, it's Steve from the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, and after 10 years of serving the good people of East Alabama and West Georgia, we're still doing business the same way, offering the best products at the best prices with the area's best warranties and installing them with the area's best technicians. With great customer service, a knowledgeable sales staff, and our commitment to customer satisfaction, along with the best selection of the latest technology in the industry, there's no reason to shop anywhere else. Shop with confidence. Shop at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn.
Get out and go in a new Altima, just $18,988. During the Nissan Now sales event, a new 2017 Altima is just $18,988 at Sarah Nissan of Sylacauga.
Welcome back to Sportz Blitz Live. Sportz Blitz Live.
That was right.
That was right. I thought I put an S on it. I was going to say it was getting a little weird there for a second.
We cover several sports.
This is true.
Instead, we put a Z on it.
This is true. That's right. We'll put a Z on it from now. I think 5-4 still Oklahoma as the innings move on. That game getting a little bit more tight. Looks like it's going to come down to the end again. So expect here we go, 10 innings. You still say less?
I'm going to say less.
Okay.
I'm sticking with less. I mean,
I certainly hope it's less because I want to get some sleep tonight. Do a little movie blitz here to end out the show. Wonder Woman debuted to big box office numbers.
It did.
And, well, you got a Gal Gadot. I mean, she's worth the price of admission.
We did Who You Got a couple weeks ago. Was it Linda Carter or Gal Gadot? And I went with Linda Carter. I still go with Linda Carter. I would go with Linda Carter still now. I think Linda Carter was like the ultimate sex symbol. I think she was just gorgeous and just timeless. But I'm going to tell you something, Gal Gadot is pretty attractive in this movie. She's great. Her acting probably could have used a little polishing. I thought the movie was okay. I think we're in a time when the movie's either got to be the best movie I've ever seen or it's just terrible and don't go see it. No, I think you should go see it. But I think you should also temper expectations. I thought the villain was a little underdeveloped in Ares, the God of War. I thought that it's going to get some extra thumbs up because it is maybe the first comic book movie that we've seen in a while that has a female protagonist. And so a lot of people are going to give it an extra nudge for that. And kudos to them for it. But still, the problem I have with it is I'm not necessarily a comic book aficionado. I may have been at one time, but I was never into DC all that much. And Wonder Woman, of course, is part of the DC family, along with Superman and Batman and Aquaman and the whole Justice League. I was more a Marvel guy because they had obvious flaws. Here's the thing with Wonder Woman. How do you kill her? What could possibly threaten her? She is arguably the most powerful comic book superhero above and beyond Superman. In fact, they fought, I want to say, in Injustice, Gods Among Us, and Wonder Woman won. So how do you kill her? What do you do? I mean, Superman's got the kryptonite, but even that, you got to be Lex Luthor and have $11 billion to afford any of that. It's just some rocks floating around in space. You've got to get a satellite and a little ball retriever to go get some kryptonite. Batman is human. He's tough to kill, I'll give you that, but he's still human. You can shoot him if anybody could ever get a good shot on him. But how do you kill Wonder Woman? I mean, I've never even really seen her cut very deeply. Batman did figure out a way. I think there was a Justice League story called Tower of Babel, where the supervillains stole Batman's methods to kill the Super Friends or the Justice League if they were ever to go rogue.
I actually saw that.
And it was a very cool story. You know, obviously with Superman, it would shoot him in the heart with a kryptonite bullet. But you have to get him close enough to where his super speed wouldn't go away, and you have to trick him into thinking you were somebody else. And then
like to make Wonder Woman have a heart attack.
It was Wonder Woman. You make her have a heart attack, to do that, you have to implant her brain with nanites that make her have hallucinations. And
all she sees is everybody's bad guy.
All she sees are bad guys, and so she was going after Cheetah, who is one of her arch nemesis, which doesn't make any sense because she could snap Cheetah's neck any minute. But she saw like hundreds and hundreds of cheetahs coming after her, and they were actually civilians or police officers trying to get her to calm down. And it sent her heart racing, and the theory was that eventually her heart would just give out. And in the story, it almost did give out. The Flash, it was some other ways to beat him, et cetera, et cetera. But only Batman, the world's greatest detective, could figure out a way to beat Wonder Woman. I want heroes with flaws. I want a Spider-Man who's got acne and girl problems, he's got to do his homework. I want a Wolverine who is riddled with guilt throughout his entire life. He's also got these animal instincts which he can't control. I want
loves a woman he can't have.
Loves a woman he can't have. I want a Jean Grey who's got all the ultimate power and she's trying hard to contain it, but it eventually overcomes her. That's what I want: villains and superheroes with flaws. And if Wonder Woman was born, and Superman too, they were born at a time when I think the country was just getting into comic books, and they didn't know about story arcs quite so much. It was, at one minute, Superman's struggling to pick up a car. The next minute, he's pushing the Earth out of the way of a black hole. And that was kind of the thing that struck me about this movie, was Wonder Woman's powers were pretty ambiguous. I mean, one minute, she's having trouble fighting just one individual, and the next, she's cutting through an army of people, or she's having trouble ripping a car door off of a car, and then she's picking up an entire tank and just reflecting about what exactly it is she's doing. Let's have a limit on some of the powers so that we know that there's a chance they could lose. You know what I mean? That's why it's good. It's good for Alabama to lose every now and again, so we know that they could be beaten. It's very, very difficult, but they could be beaten.
More than you bargained for, but hey, it's for free. It's Sportz Blitz Live. He is Luke Robinson. I am Andy Graham. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Auburn Opelika has that perfect something for you. From sophisticated chic boutiques to exceptional dining, there's a retailer or restaurant to make your next visit special. Whether it's elegant fine dining or freshly squeezed lemonade, you'll find the perfect fit for every taste and budget. The food's great and the shopping is too, so be sure to check out the wide array of gifts, decor, clothing, and more. For every occasion, Auburn Opelika has what you're looking for. Let's make your next trip memorable. Visit Auburn Opelika.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. For over 20 years, our mission has been to provide the best possible service available in the industry, and we specialize in solving difficult problems. We offer a wide range of services, such as installation, service, repair, and replacement of common fixtures, water heaters, toilets, faucets, drains, sewer lines, and septic tank pumping and cleaning services. Unlike many companies, our septic tank services include field line testing. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions, so call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
Now there's no excuse. Drive a new Hyundai today. Trade and drive this 17 Elantra today, just $49 a month. Trade and drive this 17 Sonata, $99 a month. Or trade and drive this 17 Santa Fe Sport, just $139 per month. At Hyundai of Auburn, deluxe safety, comfort and economy features, no extra charge, and locally built. Lease, finance, and credit options for you. We want your trade, even if you deal someplace else. But why would you? Trade and drive today at Hyundai of Auburn for $49 a month.
Jackson Refrigeration is Central East Alabama's Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer. With rapid response time and on-budget pricing, we're Central East Alabama's and the area's authorized Goodman Heating and Air dealer. We make your peace of mind easy and give you peace of mind when it comes to your heating and air needs. As a Superior Solutions dealer, Jackson Refrigeration can help save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Jackson Refrigeration works on all existing brands and units and has the team to solve your heating and cooling needs, no matter the season.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
Lake Area Realty is Lake Martin's Century 21 real estate company that proudly serves all the Lake Martin area. Rhonda Gaskin and her staff of caring professional realtors offers full sales for buyers and sellers in the area and can even help you with finding rentals or managing your current property. Whether it's your dream lake home, waterfront property,